Hello, hello, hello. I'm waiting on my camera to catch up to me. How's everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me, and I guess pretty soon you'll be able to see me. I'm like, okay, I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes. All right. So while my camera trying to figure out if it's me or not, I hope everybody's having a good weekend and watch some good football somewhere today, whether it was the NFL or not. I don't know why we blurry. 1 second. All right, Steve. All right. So, some the Bucks, right? The Bucks played some good football today. Travis scored his first touchdown in the NFL. I had to think about that. I was like, was this his really first touchdown? But it was, right? He played on both sides of the ball. He had a great pass breakup with against Devontae Adams of the Rams, who used to play for the Raiders by way of the Jets, and scored his first touchdown. But that was the only score that they had. So it looks like the Panthers, while they have Travis, drafted him number 2 overall. He had good targets today, right? I think Trevor found him 8 times for like 101 yards. I checked the stats from Colorado. I looked at the Baylor game. It was Travis had 7 receptions for 130 yards. So I don't know exactly what's going on with the Jags, but there are some fans who believe that Travis is being taken off the field at pivotal moments, and that Trevor can't find him enough or at the right time. So shout out to Travis for getting his first score. And at the end of the game, his press conference, you could see he didn't want to talk about the stats. The reporters were asking him about how did he feel about first getting his NFL touchdown. And he was like, we need to get some wins. He said, we got to do better, this, that, and the other. So Travis is slowly but surely emerging as the leader of that team, doing really well on defense when he gets the opportunity. But then on offense, he was the leading receiver today. So I don't know why they keep taking him out the game. I don't know if they feel like they just got to spread the ball around. But fans are pointing out that, hey, you traded up to draft this guy. I think Quinshon Judkins might have been in that package to get Travis, and whatever reason they keep taking him off the field. So they lost that game. They lost the game in London. And the way the game is being described by the media is it was an embarrassing loss for the Jags. But one thing isn't happening. Nobody's trashing Trevor. All I hear is Justin Fields is washed. They want to get rid of Cam Ward. And Tua is trash. And nobody said Dylan was trash, even though the fans said it. But I'm talking about in the media space. In the media space, the only QBs catching flack are Cam Ward, probably gonna be Michael Penix Jr. tomorrow because I was watching that game, and yeah, they want to get rid of Cam. They want to get rid of Cam. I'm like, wait a minute, why you trying to get rid of Justin Fields and Cam, but you don't want to get rid of Trevor Lawrence and Dylan? I'm like, is it obvious? I'm like, is it obvious? So y'all know what happened today with the Browns. I did not watch it. Y'all, people say a win is a win. Myles Garrett came out today. We're going to hear a little bit from him and basically said, this is not enough. It's not. And he said, I'm not trying to make nobody lose their job or position or nothing, but, and he's right. Why is he right? Because Miami is got to be probably going to end up 1-16 or 1-18 or whatever. They're not winning over there, bro. They are in shambles. We're going to hear from their coach. I think he might be, and it's not funny, allowing his job to affect him mentally. His post-game press conference. Yeah. And Tua is not much better. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. But now people are saying the Miami Dolphins owe Brian Flores an apology because clearly he said Tua wasn't a good quarterback and nobody wanted to hear it. So they decided to scapegoat Brian Flores, who just in his Brian Flores defense in Minnesota just learned how to stop the tush push. So Brian Flores, people are starting to say, oh, okay, he was right. Tua is not good. I said, what else was he right about? I said, the NFL itself owes Brian Flores and Shedeur Sanders an apology, right? Because what is happening? Every backup quarterback that is a backup is allowed to play, but Shedeur. Mac Jones, San Francisco, Tyrod Taylor in place of Justin Fields, Quinn Ewers in place of Tua, but not Shedeur Sanders in place of Lil Dollar General. And I knew it was going to happen after the game. There was a faction of people who, if you ask me, they got a group chat. And they came out immediately after the game trying to push the narrative. I really like watching Dylan play. He didn't make no mistakes. I'm like, because he didn't do nothing. And somebody pointed it out. They said, Dylan's stats are really an Arch Manning stat line. So I looked it up. I looked at the Kentucky game, Arch Manning stat line. Basically the same thing. No touchdowns, right? The defense is winning the games. Oklahoma, the defense is winning the games. So all the Browns are doing is using Dylan to prime their fan base to accept mediocrity at QB. So by the time y'all get to Arch Manning, whether it's next year or 2027, you'll think he's good. Because that's why they're saying Dylan's good. No. They want to get rid of Justin Fields because he didn't score no touchdowns. Dylan ain't scoring no touchdowns today. They said, 4 touchdowns happened today, and he was not a part of any of them. But they happy he didn't have no interceptions. I thought the quarterback was the most important position on the team. Now, Quinshon Judkins is the most important player on the team. Quinshon Judkins is essentially the quarterback now. He's the one that has to make it happen because Dylan is not even an effective game manager. I heard about the pass interference that was called back because, again, I didn't watch it. They said the refs was trying to help him out. Why? Because Stefanski is doing Haslam's bidding, and Haslam and his other 32 owners are trying to dodge a collusion charge against Shedeur Sanders, which is likely why Bucky was up there filming. Shout out to Bucky. We got some of his film. Excellent job. Not a surprise. At one point, I could hear Shedeur saying, maybe you ought to join our media team. And he was like, nah, y'all got some good stuff going on. I'm like, I think he want his brother up there. I know his mom was there because I saw her boots. But Shedeur is unbreakable. That's all that's coming out of this. Somebody even said it. Shedeur is teaching people a master class on how to not let these people destroy you. That's why I like Justin Fields' response today. People were saying Justin Fields was asked about his performance on the field, and he broke out in a Creflo Dollar sermon talking about how God is, guiding him. Facts. I'm happy because that's what's going to happen. I'm waiting for Michael Penix Jr. to realize they're not going to let you let it fly. And they not. His right tackle, what'd he do? Blew his coverage. And Michael Penix Jr. was tackled in a way he could have injured his back and never played again. They want Bijan. That's what they want to talk about, the running back. So now we have last week, I told y'all this is going to happen. I said it. Did I call it or did I call it? I said they went to London. Quinshon Judkins ran the ball for 110 yards. Why they didn't do that last week, I have no idea. But to appease their fans, they're like, you know what? We're going to go back to letting Quinshon Judkins run the ball. You know what that tells you? They really wanted Dylan to get in there, and it had to be Dylan. And they wanted him to be the one running everything. And it didn't matter whether he won or whether they won or lose. It didn't matter. But once the pressure became like a pressure cooker, it became too much for the Browns. They were like, okay, our fans are complaining. So just go ahead on and let Quinshon run the ball. In Atlanta, the same thing is happening. They want to get rid of Cam Ward because he letting it fly. A lot of people are mad because they got rid of Callahan, but a lot of people are happy because now they can win. He still got to fight ahead of him. It's called retaliation. And when I saw Michael Penix Jr. right tackle blow his coverage, number 71, and that man gets sacked, and I saw the look on his face, I said, this is exactly why I don't want Shedeur playing. Because Shedeur going to want to try to throw the ball like Michael Penix Jr. because that's what they do, right? That's not what they want right now. They want Dylan Gabriels. The term I used before today's game was the NFL is trying to dumb down the quarterback position. So I'll say it differently now. The NFL is trying to Dylan Gabriel the quarterback position. They singing the praises of Mac Jones because they're going to move him from out QB2, like I told you, into somebody else's position. Technically, Mac Jones can go to Cleveland. And if we being honest, since Quinn Ewers got a chance to play today, and he was drafted dead last after Shedeur, Quinn Ewers should actually come over to Cleveland since they don't want a black quarterback. And then send Shedeur over there to Miami, fire McDonald, whatever his name is, and give Brian Flores his head coaching job back. That's what needs to happen. The NFL has not apologized to Brian Flores, and they have not apologized to Shedeur Sanders, but they owe both of them an apology. The NFL owes its fans an apology, as does Cleveland. You know why? Because they pushing a mediocre product, and they dressing it up. Like when you get a plate, you got the entree. The NFL is more invested in the sides. I'm more invested in getting Keenan Thompson to come make you laugh than I am to let true competition take place on the field between the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers, because I want the 49ers to come out. I looked at the standings today to see who was the top one, who was the top two. Out of the 16 to 32, Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. The rest, all their teams for the most part, are at the bottom. I might have missed one or two somewhere. I'll share it with you. So there is an assault on black quarterbacks in the NFL this year, but that's not new. It's not new. These are old tactics being used because of 16 to 32. Saw one post today that said, Lenore Sellers better get the hell out of South Carolina. Did I call it or did I call it? Because he was the number one player coming out after he got concussed. They're not going to let him win. Because who have the number one pick? Cleveland. So for people pushing up Mendoza and Dante Moore, notice they all black and brown. Send Carson back over there. Send Quinn Ewers over there. Why they don't want to send them to Cleveland? Because they don't want to inflict that kind of emotional damage on them. That's why. So out of the three buffs on the thumbnail, we got Shedeur. The Browns won, but it feel like they lost. We got Travis. That didn't go well. They lost, and they were in London and lost. That was embarrassing to take the game internationally and play that way. And then we have Jimmy. Jimmy is a fan favorite. He did play. He's doing good blocking. So he's getting some good time, right? You know, he's getting some good time. He's on a team while they won. I think they might be tied for first. They don't make a whole lot of noise about them. The Panthers make their own noise. And I'm happy to see that Jimmy is a part of their celebration. The fans love him. We'll look at that as well. I can see that Travis is getting frustrated, but he knows how to handle himself. He knows how to, when they want to talk about the fluff, like the bringing in the Keenan to make you laugh. They want to talk. They don't want to talk to Travis about the loss. They asking Travis about just getting a touchdown. And he said, what? I'm about the wins over stats. Because they don't want you to be serious about the game. They got Jameis Winston up there enhancing the brand, but are they going to let him play? Mm-mm. And they lost today. See, last week, the Giants ran the Cam Scatterboo special that Quinshon Junkins just ran. And I said that's what they were going to do. That's what the Browns were going to do. Let the running back do the work. Why didn't they do that last week? Because that's not what they wanted to do. They had no choice. And guess what? Neither did New York. Because they were winning. Dart was doing all the work. They ended up losing. When I checked in, Cam Scatterboo didn't really have over 5 and 6 carries at one point. They ended up losing that game. I don't know how many yards, or how many carries Cam Scatterboo ran with today, but I will say this. It's not enough for the fans to see the running back deliver the game. The win is nice, but what the quarterback got going on? See, that's the part the NFL can't escape. See, they were winning. The Giants were winning. And Cam Scatterbull wasn't doing much. So it looked like Jackson Dart is the man. And they lost. Cam Scatterbull delivered the win, like Quinshon Junkins delivered the win. But all of the quarterbacks that are backups can all get in and play, except for Shedeur Sanders. So another thing the NFL can't circumvent is the collusion against Shedeur Sanders. So it's not enough for Dylan to only throw for 119 yards, no touchdowns. And for Quinshon Junkins to come out here and be the quarterback. Is he getting quarterback money? No. And Dylan shouldn't be getting what he getting at all. Dylan not even an effective game manager. He can't even score. But that's what they want. They want the defense to be the heroes, the running back to do the work, when all they talk about is Dylan. If Justin Fields should be benched, so should Dylan. So should Tua. That's just what it is. So let's take a look at this before we get into what I think is good news. Oh, I just tell you. Colorado State fired Andrew Berry. I think you know what I mean. That's right. Colorado State fired whatever their head coach name was, Norvell, that was hating on Coach Prime. And then there's another video. I got a little clip of it where he was hating on the quarterback at Colorado, which I'm assuming was Shedeur. I don't know, unless he was hating on the quarterback over here this year. But I was like, I see why they fired him. So shout out to Colorado State. Not a surprise. Again, I said this was going to happen. First opportunity they get, they fired him. Hell, Billy Napier was fired by Florida and they won last week. Why? Because the boosters. Dukes with the scoop said, I thought this would have been enough. The win was enough to keep his job. I'm like, because the boosters are calling all of the shots. Even if when Napier won, they still fired him. Why? I'm sure they want to get a coach that's going to get the right quarterback. Football in college and in the NFL is a toxic sport right now. And I don't know if it's ever really been this bad, but it probably was. Well, they're clearly going back to that. Just a toxic, ugly sport if you're a black quarterback trying to come out. And then when you look at Travis, you know, them taking him out the game at pivotal moments. So do you not want to win? Maybe they want to win, but they want it to be Trevor. They don't want it to be Trevor and Travis. Just a theory. Just a theory. So our guys are learning how to conduct themselves now when they're in the NFL. The thought of going out and getting the opportunity to play and ball out, it's just not happening. It's not happening. Even Cam Ward said, if I get to play football the way I want to play football, the NFL is in trouble. And I was like, that just kind of tells you a couple of things. That he knows he's being restricted from playing full throttle. He knows that. And he knows, that he might not get that opportunity. Right? Shedeur. If Shedeur is going to be in his league, and he might, he has to be what he currently is now, unbreakable. Because he could be Geno Smith. What do I mean by that? Send you to 3 bad teams. He could go to the Jets next year. They are 0-7. He very well could go to the Jets next year and then be behind who? Because if he go to the Jets, are they really going to let him start? Is the roster around him going to be bad? Because that's what's happening in New York. Under Aaron Glenn's first year, the roster is trash. I think it was one player that said Why does it seem like I keep getting sent to teams that's just not good? It's just what's happening. It's just what's happening. I had to figure out how to talk about this without really talking about the NFL because we know what it is. We know what it is. Anytime you got Keenan Thompson trying to make us laugh before the game, but you are stacking the deck against Michael Penix Jr. with his own team members, you want me to be distracted and think you don't have a problem with black people. So I didn't want to watch that game. I was like, thank God Colorado comes back next week. Thank God Colorado come back next week. BYU defeated Utah, I believe, and we play them next week. And they were number 23. I was like, we could beat them. Because the Colorado team that I saw, which is what we expected in week 1, can beat Utah. So that's the only good part of football that's happening right now, right? Because our buffs are all in situations where, like, Jimmy's a fan favorite. He gets to play on the field. He hasn't made his first touchdown yet. We hope he get to it. Happy to see him out there blocking so he gets more time. Travis, you can see he's visibly frustrated, understandably so, between the ridiculous questions about the baptism and asking him about a touchdown, but not focusing on winning. He's an elite athlete. And he's like, why y'all come get me if we just not going to try to win? And Trevor's sitting next to him just with this look on his face, and he's the problem. But nobody's trying to bench Trevor. In fact, they said the solution for the Jacksonville Jaguars going forward is to get Shedeur Sanders. I agree. I totally agree. Coach Prime weighed in about Travis, them not using him the right way or using him enough, whether it was the wrong way or the right way. It was underutilizing Travis. And then what happened? We see them try to say Travis wasn't developed by Coach Prime. Why? Because it had been discussed that down the line, Coach Prime could end up a Jaguars head coach. And at this point, I could see it. Maybe by out his last year at CU, I could just see it. And I can see Shedeur actually being traded to Jacksonville next year because Trevor is parked until 2029 or 2030. While that seemingly doesn't look good for Shedeur, things happen. Because that's the situation he probably going to be in anyway. Those are the types of things that our buffs and us as buff fans coming into the NFL have to accept. That while they balled out in school and they're good and they could ball out in the NFL, that's not the agenda. Keenan Thompson making you laugh before the game is the agenda. Jeezy doing the halftime concert is the agenda. Jameis Winston all over social media. All over social media for the Giants. But at quarterback 1, leading the teams or being the face of the team, of the star of the team, whether it's Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders, is not in the plan. That's why Travis keep getting pulled out the game at pivotal moments. They know what they're doing. I've seen them do it. When I heard somebody else say it today, I'm like, it ain't new. I asked the same thing. I forgot who it was they were playing. I said, why would they take Travis out? And they let the other team score. Sure did. Then they put Travis back in a little bit later down the line. So that's why Travis's face looks like it does in this video. So let's check this out. So I always like y'all to see the war that's happening on social media because people thought this country was going to erupt in a civil war. It is in the NFL, not outside. Not outside. I think people not falling for the okie doke. So no, not outside, right? So I actually curated this list of things for us to look at. And let's just take a look so y'all can see. And I don't mind asking people that are saying Justin Fields needs to be benched. I'm like, why don't you call for Dylan Gabriel or Trevor Lawrence to be benched. It's so obvious what's happening. It's so obvious that they have group chats, and after these games, they run onto the internet and they all post the same narrative. We're not doing it because we think we just having conversations. No, they're actually pushing a narrative about Dylan because they want you to be okay with Arch Manning's stat line. Why? Because they know Dylan is a placeholder for Arch Manning, whether it's this year or next year. They have no plans with Shedeur. They were planning to lose until the fans said something. And then now, if the fans are okay with mediocrity and Quinshon Judkins being the quarterback, then that's what it's going to be. This is why people are now saying, okay, so the NFL hates Shedeur. You've heard that narrative before. It's coming back again today. All right, so here we go. We scored 31 points today, and the quarterback literally had nothing to do with it. Gabriel isn't the guy anyone thinks he is. No, it says Gabriel isn't the guy anyone who thinks he is. He's just a Shedeur hater. He is. Shedeur is the answer, and we all know this. So this is the page that everybody, for the most part, I would say about 65% of Browns fans and 100 probably and 10% of anybody else knows that Shedeur is the guy. Shedeur is their answer. Now, he might get a chance to answer the call against the Patriots. They have a bye week next week, I do believe. But they come back to the Patriots, then they go to the Jets. I can see Shedeur getting in against the Patriots because they lead their division. I think if not, they're like right behind somebody else. But here's the thing. If the most that Dylan could do today is not throw an interception, even though he actually threw an interception and he got called back, and he only threw for 119, 118, 116 yards, absolutely not scoring at all, while the defense and the running back do the work. What the hell is he going to do going forward? Because now every team knows all you got to do is stop Quinshon Judkins. It's like they playing cards and they showing everybody their hand. Miami is just that bad, which is why you can't celebrate this as a win. You can be happy and tell yourself this is good for the immediate moment, but is it good going forward? No. What you gonna do against the Patriots with a quarterback that can only hand off the ball to the running back? And how do you say the quarterback is the most important position on the team? Because I still got the video. But then it's really Quinshon Judkins, the running back. So you're moving away from your own process and hierarchy on the team just to hold back Shedeur. So it's more important to hold back Shedeur Sanders than it is for the quarterback to be good, than it is to win games. And the only reason Quinshon Judkins ran for what he did today, and I don't even think he made it to 100 yards, or he might have been slightly over it maybe, is because last week you could have did the same thing. And if you say Quinshon got shut down last week, then what you think gonna happen next week? And what does it say to their fans if they really want you to walk away happy with the quarterback not scoring at all? Which means he just snapping the ball. When you have a franchise QB over there, why would you do something like this? Because I'm setting you up to understand that this is the new normal in Cleveland when it comes to quarterbacks. They're not going to pay Dante Moore to come be a dual threat. I'm either going to pay Dante Moore to be a pocket passer, or I'm going to pay Arch Manning to be Dylan Gabriel, because he's probably slightly better than Dylan Gabriel. And you'll be just fine with that. Once again, the ball is back in the fan base's court. And Myles Garrett has something to say, and I don't blame him. It said the Browns, Myles Garrett on the win. Just take a listen.
No, and we got to continue to do that. Rallied and we got to win in a fashion which we can appreciate, but that's not enough. And we got to continue to do that. One win is one thing, but we've got to turn this into a habit, the addiction. It's got to be an obsession to win and win like this. I'm always going to tell her how it is. I mean, that's just my nature. I'm going to shoot you straight, and I have no problem saying what I say, to them up here and vice versa. So I'm not trying to say anything to disparage anybody or try to get anybody either removed from their position or anything like that. And I want everybody here to be a benefactor to our success. Raleigh.
And that's exactly what Travis was saying. Everybody got to want to succeed, right? You can't just take this win and go out and be like, "Oh, we're good now." No, your running back just won the game along with the defense against the worst team in the league. You're fighting for second place to last, second to last. So if you're not dead last, you're second to last. That's what this game was for. And people said this game was about what? Who was going to get fired? What coach has been fired? Has McDonald been fired? Has Tua been benched? Was Quinn Ewers at the podium talking? Is he going to be the quarterback going forward? No, because if Brian Flores was fired after he was incentivized to win and he told the truth about Tua, and now I have to I could move off of Tua, but McDonald or whatever, Brian Flores was right. That's what it proves, which is why they refuse to bitch Dylan or even speak of it. And then Shedeur go out here and ball out. We was wrong. It seems like these people have a tough time saying they were wrong. And I don't think it's a pride thing. I think they knew it was always going to be this bad and they didn't care. And that's what they don't want to admit. We knew this year was going to be a failure. That's why they were content with losing. They just thought the fans was going to be with it. Because, they loyal, right? So it'll be interesting to see. I think they have a bye week, what they do against the Patriots, because you're going to need the Patriots to back down, right? The Patriots, I think, have a shot at the division. I don't know if they're willing to give up no games to charity so Dylan could look good, because that's what you're going to have to do with some of these games they got to play. And yeah, the Jets might not be a problem, just like Miami, but what are you going to do against teams like the 49ers and the Patriots? Let me know your thoughts on what you think they're going to do. Because if you don't want to play Shedeur and you got to play Shedeur, they have already decided which game they're going to play Shedeur. I say the Patriots because that's the tough one. So, that's what I'm saying. So, Myles Garrett, spoke his piece, and I think he should, right? And now this is McDaniels. Listen to what he said. What did they ask him? His post-game press conference is going viral and leaving many fans concerned. I'm worried about his mental health more than the football.
There's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to assess a different player, and I have to coach a lot better as well. So we're going to find out who and what we're made of.
You didn't find that out yet? He said we're going to find out who and what we're made of. Is he scared to bench Tua? Does Tua absolutely have to play? Does Miami have to be in last place? Like, what is going on here, right? I don't know what the hell is going on in Miami. I thought they had a great partnership group. I know they got Serena Williams and her sister, or they did, and some other people, but this just going off the rails. I don't even know what they're trying not to do at this moment, other than admit that Brian Flores was correct, that Tua was not that guy, right? That the NFL was wrong for firing Brian Flores, who had a winning record, and the allegations that he was incentivized to lose. So Miami is in shambles, just like the Cleveland Browns. And yet nobody has been fired. And you just heard this man say, we're going to find out what we're made of. If you don't know what you made of already, and you have to stumble across your words about benching somebody or replacing somebody, you scared or you got something else going on over there, right? So this is Justin Fields. Now, I don't have a problem with what he said. Some of the, not fans, but some people, and not Jets fans, but just random people on the internet have a problem with him injecting God into his conversation. And personally, I think he gets it. I think he gets that, like, unlike this coach who looked like mentally he's not all there, there's no point to that. There's no point to that because he realized they don't want him to win. He knows that. Listen to his conversation. I have absolutely no problem with it. I think this is, if you're a black quarterback coming into this league, even if you're not a black quarterback, but if they draft you like they did Travis, and you up here trying to get it together and they not trying to win with you, Justin Fields' response is the best response. You're going to have to have his mentality in order to stay in this league before you either decide to leave voluntarily and retire or they boot you out. One or the other.
Were you surprised that you got pulled?
They asking him
A little bit.
they asking him, is he surprised that he got benched? Every backup can get into the game when the QB1 performs horribly, except for Shedeur. So just listen.
But at the same time, I can't be mad at the decision. I understand why. It's life. It's football. I've learned to not take anything personal. Coach AG, I think he wanted to see if there was a spark. But like I told you guys earlier in the week, I'm about to just be real right now. I've always asked God to give me an opportunity and a platform to spread His word, and sometimes it doesn't play out the way you always plan it. I think the position I'm in right now is a great opportunity to spread that message and really kind of get the world to know how I feel about him and how great he is. I've been through a lot in my career, especially my NFL career, college career. God's been with me through the ups and downs, and I'm probably at a low right now, and I think the old me would feel some certain type of way, but it's just now like my faith is so rooted in Christ to where it's like I told you guys earlier this week, nothing can break me,
There it is.
That's just what it is. And as far as my job goes here, I'm going to be the same. I'm going to come to work the same. I'm going to lead the same. And again, just try to continue to spread that message of, how good God is. And no matter what I go through in life, I know I'm strong enough to handle it. I know He's strong enough to help me handle it and stuff like that. So, sorry to, kind of get that, but I just felt like this thing that's happening right now is a great opportunity for me to, spread His word and spread His love.
In other words, ain't nothing I can do about it, right? All I can do is come to work and play. Y'all don't want me to be the quarterback that I'm supposed to be. He done been to 3 teams. I don't even know how long he been in the league, but not that long. They want to keep booting him out. They want to keep bitching him. They want to say he's the problem. Cool. So while I'm here, since God opened His door for me, I'm gonna thank God for the opportunity and I'm gonna spread His word. Because otherwise you're going to find yourself like the head coach stumbling for your words because you starting to lose a little bit of who you are. See, this is what they don't want. This is what they don't want. They don't want Justin Fields to be okay with, I'm good because, clearly this is God's will. They want these players to knock themselves out, trying to get something that the NFL has made unattainable. The NFL has dangled a carrot and they want Justin Fields to get it. And he like, I'm good because, God opened the door. So if you don't want me to have a carrot, you don't want me to have a carrot. Everybody coming to this league that is black, whether it's Travis, Shedeur, Jimmy, LaJonte, or what's his name? Jordan Seaton, Caden Salter, they all gonna have to have this process. They all gonna have to have it because if you're the quarterback, they don't want you to lead the team, be the face of the team, be the star of the team, and talked about incessantly. And if you're a Travis Hunter where you're not a quarterback, right? They don't even want to utilize you properly so you can help the team win because they don't want you to be talked about incessantly. They don't want you to be the face of the team. They want blonde hair, Trevor Lawrence, who's parked on this team until 2029 or 2030 to be the only topic of conversation. They want you to come out when they lose. They don't want to say Trevor is the problem. And to avoid talking about the problem, they want to ask Travis about his first touchdown as if being in the NFL is just a novelty. And Cleveland and the NFL. Understand, I told you Cleveland was an experimental franchise. Cleveland over there trying to Dylan Gabriel the QB position so the rest of the NFL can do it. So Arch Manning can fit right in when he gets here. I don't want Shedeur to play against Arch Manning. Come on now. I don't want Shedeur to play against Jackson Dart. Come on now. Because it's going to be Quinshon Judkins and Shedeur versus Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. I would like to see it. But they don't want that. Because there's a possibility they believe that Jackson Dart is not strong enough. Because here's the thing. Cam Scatterboo can get it done, right? Can Jackson Dart get it done without Cam Scatterboo? From what I saw today, that's the route they was trying to go. They were down like zero. I think the Broncos hadn't even scored for the longest, and then they lost. Cam Scatterboo can get it done without Jackson Dart. Quinshon Judkins can get it done without Dylan Gabriel. But Dylan Gabriel and Jackson Dart cannot get it done without their running backs. That's why they tried it today. Now let's see if the Browns try to get Dylan Gabriel to get it done without Quinshon Judkins against the Patriots. Because understand, this was always the plan. That's why they didn't get no O-linemen. That's why they didn't get no receivers, because it was going to be Lil Dollar General to Quinshon Judkins. So I don't even know why Cleveland tried to pretend like they was going to keep investigating Quinshon Judkins that the district attorney cleared when they knew they needed him. And that's probably will put that to rest. And where's Isaiah Bond? Because I ain't see him nowhere today. Maybe he's still out there. I don't know. Let me know. So that's Justin Fields. He has the right attitude. Travis gonna get here too. Y'all want to know why he got baptized? Because it's hard to be in a toxic environment and continue to exist and thrive in a toxic environment unless you know that God put you there intentionally and he expects for you to let him drive to get you through it. Justin Fields has figured that out. Shout out to Justin Fields. Michael Penix Jr. going to need to figure that out. Stat. Shedeur Sanders, he figured it out. But, you know, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson and probably Jameis Winston are all on the same page. Did you hear the word? You can't break me, unbreakable, etc. I will say this, Shedeur Sanders is unbreakable. We have gotten to that part, and that's excellent. But now he got to get to where Justin Fields is. How many times Justin Fields been sacked? Cam Ward was sacked 25 times this season before this game. Yes, their coach was a problem, but now they get ready to retaliate against Cam Ward. They don't want him to have no influence over who the players are on the field. They don't want him to have no influence about the game plan being tailored to him. They don't want that. So they're going to fight him the rest of the way. He probably didn't ask for the coach to be fired, but it's going to get tougher because there are people that feel like the Titans yielded to their number one $48 million pick over their losing head coach. And again, that's not about football. That's about the Titans yielding to a young black phenom quarterback over a losing head coach because he's white. And that same head coach wanted to yield or wanted to push out Cam, push aside Shedeur for Will Levis, who failed because he was white. Preference. Preservation of whiteness in the NFL at the QB position. To the point they're willing to use Dylan just to hold Shedeur back and save the seat, preserve the seat for Arch Manning. Insane. But that's where they are. They pushing a mediocre product and they need to apologize to their fans. But I told y'all the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. And you see, I watch numerous videos with people talking about how surprising it is that Vegas is empty. There's a time that They say Major League Baseball stadiums can't fill up their stadiums. I watched the Hawks game today. It wasn't full. I saw Cleveland, the little bit I did see. It wasn't full, but it was raining, so, give them a pass. Things change. And the NFL can't perceive of it. And they know it's not right, so they running out here getting Keena Thompson to make you laugh so you can ignore that they holding back Michael Penix Jr. and Shedeur Sanders. And what they did to Brian Flores. And what they going to do to Cam Ward. Choices. All right, so this is Jimmy Horn Jr. Panthers have him billed as the man of the people. I do think he's a fan favorite. Again, I'm happy to see Jimmy tackling because he's, if he's not catching the pass, it's not like he has to be on the sideline. He's doing really good at blocking. That's the term. He's doing really good at blocking. As you can see, the fans just want him to sign anybody's jersey. It don't matter. But the fact that the team has embraced him, they were one of the teams. I think they won today because they beat the Jets, right? So this was a good day for Jimmy. Like I said, being utilized more, not just in the receiving role, but in the blocking role. There was a photo out there with him making a block for a receiver or the running back, and it was pretty good. So shout out to Jimmy. I'm glad the Panthers won. It looked like they've been doing good. I don't know what happened in the beginning. They stalled out, but it looks like they back to their winning ways. So shout out to the Panthers. You never know. Jimmy and them might get a chance to go to a divisional or the playoffs or something. So shout out to them. All right. All right. So this was them talking about Brian Flores. It says some of you owe this man an apology because he was right. I said the NFL owes Brian Flores an apology for the same reason the NFL owes Shedeur Sanders an apology. It said then the NFL should apologize to the fans for shelving talent and pushing mediocrity, because that's what you saw today versus the Dolphins. So that's what's happening, right? So people realize Travis Hunter is the best player on the football team. He needs to be on the field at all times and schemed for on offense like the athlete you drafted him to be. So this is where people just start asking about how is it that Travis is not being used correctly or underutilized or whatever. People are now starting to put it together that they went and got this young man at number 2 overall. But when it comes to on the play field, they don't treat him like it, but they want him at all of the press conferences. So it's like optics, right? It's like I got you for optics. Or I got you to trade that pick so Shedeur don't get picked so Cleveland could justify not getting Shedeur. Pick one. It don't matter. So when Coach Prime was right when he said they were not using Travis correctly or underutilizing Travis, now the fans are starting to see it and call it out, right? So let me see what y'all are saying in these comments. Again, shout out to Jimmy because they did win. It feels like the Browns lost. Honestly, it really feels like that. And although people tried to drown out, right? People tried to drown out the reality that this was ugly. This was put everything on defense, put everything on Quinshon Judkins. I thought the quarterback was the most important position. Dylan not doing nothing, but handing off the ball to Quinshon. They thought they were going to drown that out with things like, man, I really like watching Dylan play. Or, he didn't make no mistakes today. So you see, they're trying to check off boxes, doing just enough to pacify their fan base, which should tell their fan base they got power. Please use it and make the demands for them to strategize to win with a quarterback and the running back and the defense, because hold them accountable. The quarterback is the most important position on the team. How many times I told you they said that? It was working my nerves, but now it's not. Hold them accountable. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Selma, how you doing? It said, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. How you doing? It said, Selmo is a Browns fan. We happy to have you, Selmo. Let me know how y'all really feeling over there. It said, tell me seriously, Shedeur had on headphones. Was he assisting with calling plays, as some have intimated? I'm not sure, but I do know he had on the headset last time too. I thought they let him listen to the plays so he could get familiar with things. That's just what I was thinking. Can anybody answer that question? That's Elaine's question. When Shedeur has on a headset, what's taking place? Is he just listening and getting used to the play calling? Is he helping with the play calling? Let me know. I know offensive coordinator is supposed to be calling the plays. And before today's game, I saw Shedeur with the headset on. So feel free to add that and I'll share it so we can talk about it. Bouncy said, I think he listens to plays from the coaches. Right. Carrying a clipboard and listening. I've heard Cam say that before. Hey, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good evening, Peter. How you doing? How you doing? Hit the like button. Yes, there are over 300 of us, 315. Hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A big day for Travis. Yes, big day for Travis. Although you can see the frustration, Travis is used to not necessarily just winning. He's used to being part of the solution, right? So he'd rather talk about the solution to win than the novelty of his first NFL touchdown. If it was a win, then he'd be happy about it. But the way that they lost, like 35-7, nobody want to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. So, yeah, that it's a big day for him. But then again, it's not. Trevor Lawrence is overrated. Facts, he is overrated. He is. Travis looked like he bulked up. He did. I think he did. Elijah say they are messing with Travis and Shedeur. I don't think it's just Travis and Shedeur. I'll throw Travis into that. First, we saw it with Shedeur, and now you're seeing it with Travis. So what is it really about? Coach Prime? And remember, Coach Prime didn't do nothing, right? And you can't say they have a grudge against the Sanders family because Bucky went to film, right? Bucky went to film on the same day that Quinn Ewers got his shot to play as a backup. And Shedeur still has not. It said, watch they will play Shedeur against all the playoff teams. They go into the playoffs? Oh, you meant the teams going to the playoffs? It said, then say, oh, he's not good. It said they will let Dylan Gabriel play all the easy games to make him look like a guy. I kind of agree. That's why I say I think when they come back from the bye week, I do believe, I have it right here. When they come back from the bye week, they play the Patriots, I think, October 25th. Yeah. And then they play the Jets. And I was like, they're going to put Shedeur in versus the Patriots. And they're going to put Dylan in versus the Jets. And what I saw today with the right tackle blowing his coverage and allowing his quarterback to get sacked, and yes, he was black. I was like, this is why I don't want Shedeur to play. He's not going to get a fair opportunity because they don't want these black quarterbacks to ball out. The standings are not the way they are, as they are. It's not a coincidence. It's just not. It's the agenda, right? Atlanta was not supposed to go in. Did they win? Did the 49ers win? Who won the game? I don't think Atlanta was supposed to win this game. Because if you look at the standings, for one, Mac Jones is a person name that they keep saying because I know they're going to take him from QB2 and put him as QB1 on somebody else's team. And as much as they talked about Michael Penix Jr. after everything started out bad, they still went right back to it, right? Because I don't know what they want to fire. I don't think they want to fire the OC. I honestly think the Falcons want to get rid of Raheem Morris and elevate. Guess who? His son got blamed for giving out Shedeur Sanders' phone number and prank calling Shedeur, but his son didn't make the call. Jeff Ulbrich. Listen to them talk about Atlanta. I heard him say it last week. Jeff Ulbrich, I'm like, here we go. This must be what it is he had to get to go ahead and take the fall for something that seemingly he didn't do. His son didn't do. The story didn't even make no sense, and they never came back to clear it up. And they lied, and they still didn't come back to clear it up. Geno Smith, too. Yep, Geno Smith in the same boat. Geno Smith said it. They wrote me off. I didn't write back. That's the mentality Shedeur is going to have. And he might have to accept the fact that the agenda that the NFL has now does not include talented, black, elite quarterbacks, regardless of pocket passer or dual threat. But they're going to have to draft one, just like they did Cam, so you don't call them racist about not drafting Cam, Shedeur, and Jalen Milroe. It said now Penix is about to score. Hopefully they scored and won. Did the Falcons win? Did the Falcons win? Let's see. Let me look. Oh, they lost. Oh, they lost. Yep, the Falcons lost 20-10. Well, there we go. Dylan Gabriel was not there doing the red zone. Right. They said it was 4 touchdowns and Dylan was not on the field for 3 of them. I'm like, what? So that meant defense had scored a lot and Quinshon Judkins, maybe, I don't know. That's just weird. It said the Jaguars aren't using Travis right. Trevor Lawrence isn't helping. Travis or the team. Right. And here's the thing. How many times have you heard them say they need to bench Trevor Lawrence? 0. But I already heard them say they need to bench Justin Fields. I don't think he had no interceptions today. I think they upset because he didn't score no touchdowns. Isn't that the problem in Cleveland? Different folks. Black quarterbacks versus white quarterbacks. They ready. I told them, I said, they say, are y'all ready to talk about the Cam Ward problem or not? I said, are you ready to talk about how rampant racism is in the NFL and y'all only want to run off black quarterbacks? Because that's what's happening. If you look at the standings, I shall. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. When I saw this game play out, I saw Michael Penix Jr., right tackle, blow his coverage. Michael gets sacked. Of course, the ball came out. The ball went to San Francisco. I said, okay, then I'm turning this off. They're not going to win the game. I couldn't bear to watch it. I said, this is why I don't want Shedeur to play, because they're going to do the same thing to him. Y'all don't really think they're going to hold him back all this time, cheat him in the draft, and let him get out here and ball out against the Patriots. Rams. It said, was those 2 are not good comments before or after the concussions? I don't know. I don't know when he said it. But people blamed Brian Flores for Tua because they said Brian Flores was being harsh. But then Tua, I kept looking for Dylan in the red zone. Next thing you know, Quinshon was celebrating in the end zone. Right. Because, Quinshon is the one doing the work. And again, I'm playing that video tomorrow. I said I would put it on the loop where Andrew Berry says, well, the quarterback position is the most important position on the team. Is it? Because that's not what's happening in Cleveland. See, that's evidence that they willing to move off their process, move off how they conduct business, just to hold back Shedeur. It's more important to hold back Shedeur than it is for the quarterback to be the most important position on the team. They switching up because I can't let Shedeur get out here. Again, I think people have come to the realization that they are intentionally holding Shedeur back and page 2, they turn the page because they're trying to dodge a collusion charge because they took him off the draft board and said he was entitled. And Andrew Berry in Cleveland, they try to clean it up by saying his skill set is outdated, but he played against the Panthers and no, it's not. So they backing away from the reasons that they devalued Shedeur. And now Bucky can film. Stay tuned. It says Shedeur is ready to play, but they aren't ready to allow him to play. Fact, they don't want to play with Shedeur. It said Chiefs blew out the Raiders 31-0 and put in their backup. Who's that backup? Kenny Pickett? They put in Kenny Pickett or who else they got? Because I think they put Cam Miller on the practice squad. Let me know, Talisa. So see, everybody's backup can get in, right? Everybody's backup can play, but Shedeur cannot. Shedeur is not allowed to play. This is why when we used to talk about him going to another team, I'm like, and what team is that going to be? Because he's not allowed to move. They're restricting his movement, which is collusion. And I said yesterday when we were talking about Bucky film, and I was like, oh, that's different. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to see, but that's different. That's changed, and it is. But then Miami comes to town. Quinn Ewers can get in, but Shedeur can't. Bucky filming is likely to try to quiet they colluded against Shedeur because of Coach Prime or the Sanders family. Because you could say, well, I mean, they did let his brother film. I can say that. I can say I don't have no problem with them because, his brother filmed. I mean, there's a lot of things they could say, but they all probably going to be like, no, that don't fit. You know, you said the quarterback was the most important position, but you got the running back out here. And I think Quinshon Judkins was drafted before Dillon. So that tells you Quinshon Judkins make more money than Dillon. But the quarterback is the most important position on the team. Does Ashton Jeanty make more than Geno Smith? That tells you that was always the plan for them to go with Quinshon and Dillon just hand on the ball. I've said that a couple of times, though. I've said that a couple of times. Shedeur not getting in after this game. It said, I know what they're thinking now. It said, we just going to rely on the run game. Now, I believe that. I believe that was always the plan. I believe that's why they never got it ready. It was always the plan. What did Andrew Berry say post-draft? The alternative use for Shedeur, the alternative use to use the selection is a draft pick. That's all he is. And that goes back to Geno Smith. 3 years in a row from draft, and Geno Smith was supposed to be first round draft pick. They devalued him too, but only to the second round. But even still, to the second round, he went from trash team to trash team to trash team. So 3 years of his career was wasted. That also affected the money that he made, because when you get traded, your contract goes with you. You don't get a new contract. But if you or I were to get traded to another company or move to another company, we're going to get a salary based on something else at the other company. That's one of the ways they can suppress the players' wages by, okay, fine, if you want to get traded. You just still going to make the same money. It said they're about to call Dillon a game manager. Dillon is a game manager, and I'm not sure he's a very good game manager. They are restricting Dillon from doing too much of anything, so he doesn't throw an interception, so that he doesn't fumble the ball. The refs are trying to help him by constantly saying they're rushing the passer. And they're going to do this for the rest of the season unless the fans decide to care. I say stay home, but if they showed up in the rain, it was a little sparse up there, but they still showed up in the rain. So this is why the Browns continue to be dysfunctional, because the fans keep showing up. But we talked about that already. It said, yep, Kenny Pickett fumbled the ball on the first snap. So he was the backup that they put in. So they benched Geno Smith for Kenny Pickett, and he fumbled the ball. It said, did you see the coach pull Shedeur by the arm while he was talking to Bucky? Yeah, I saw it. They were kind of like ushering him off the field while he was talking to Bucky. I did see that, though. Yes, and it did stand out to me. It said it was obvious the refs were helping Dillon. He should have had 2 picks. That's what people said, that boy Wig. They said he actually had an interception, but they called it a pass interference. Tuna said they always said the QB was the most important. They said, he not that good. It said, okay, then mediocrity wins the day. Right. And here's the thing. That's not going to just be Cleveland. See, people not ready for this. What's happening in Cleveland is to make way for Arch Manning, right? Arch Manning is not the only one getting drafted next year. Dante Moore, Lenore Sellers isn't the only one they trying to stop. If there were 3 last year, there's 3 next year. And like last year, they drafted 1. The others were devalued. I'm talking about the first round. That's Cam Ward. And what are they trying to do to Cam? They trying to get rid of him. They just paid him $48 million. So it tells you that the racism is more important than the money, which is why people were shocked that they didn't want to get Shedeur because of the money that he makes and can help generate. They don't care. It's more important for the quarterback to be not black and athletic and get out here and play against each other and ball out. Imagine Shedeur against Trevor Lawrence. You already know. You already know. And they don't try to bench him because they don't want to put him in a bad situation. But they'll take a good quarterback and let them get sacked excessively or discriminated against and sacked excessively. And then when something happens, like the right tackle blow his coverage and they get sacked, oh, he trash. The black quarterback got to be perfection. Jalen Hurts was damn near perfection today. Over 300 yards. See, people are getting used to 100 yards from Dylan that you forgot that 300 yards is the norm for some of these quarterbacks. They want a Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback position in the NFL. So the Arch Mannings that are truly not as talented as they had hoped get first round money, first round contracts, QB1 status. They don't want what they have had for the last 5, 10 years, going back to Michael Vick, 15. I don't even know how long that was. Still could be 20. Shit. They don't want that. It's obvious they don't want that because they got it in Shedeur. They don't want it. And you see the other teams running the ball more, talking about the running backs more because they're trying to make a no-fly zone. So you don't see them lobbing the ball like Cam Ward did down the field. Cam Ward threw a beautiful pass today. Then he went on to talk about how that play was on the play sheet for 3 to 4 weeks and they would never use it because they didn't want him to connect 30, 40 yards in the air. And then people have the audacity to say, we need to get rid of him. They're trying to dumb down the game. But the NFL going to pay for this mediocrity because the fans going to catch on. We just a little bit ahead of them. They going to catch on and they're going to find something else to do. And just like Vegas didn't realize that they would screw themselves over by being greedy, the NFL don't believe right now that they're going to screw themselves over by being racist to these against these black quarterbacks. But they want to dumb down the game so that they only maybe draft one black quarterback high in the second round. Not going to make no apologies about it either. So it says Shedeur got new music. I listened to it. I listened to Bucky's video yesterday. It was a good video. It was really a good video. And actually, I wanted to share a clip of today, the part that I liked from Bucky's video today. So let me share this with y'all. And I saw Miss Pilar. She showed her boots. It said rainy day boots or something like that. So I knew she was in Cleveland. I just wonder how she feel, as a mom. As a mom, you support your kids. This is what they want to do. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be here. I'm not going to let nothing happen to you, etc. Right? But I do wonder how she feels sometimes knowing what we know. Because I know she know what we know. And I know Shedeur know too, right? That it's not just they don't want to play with your son. Yes, he's good. Yes, they lied and said he wasn't. Now, he wasn't good enough for the quarterback position because it's the most important. Now it's not even the most important. The running back and the defense is the most important. But he still can't play. Every backup can get in, but he can't play. It has to hurt seeing your son get discriminated against, knowing he's the best. And it doesn't make you feel better knowing that it's not only happening to him, but they're trying to move Cam out too. They're trying to move Michael Penix out too. That the NFL's ugly history with black quarterbacks, discriminated against black quarterbacks, is alive and well in 2025. And this is why your son was devalued in the draft. Had nothing to do with Coach Prime. Like Brian Flores, he was just a scapegoat. And this is how they want to move forward. And they want to take the game and dumb it down and make you laugh with Keenan Thompson before the game. Or drive you crazy with these announcers just talking incessantly. And after the game, push out all these narratives about how the black quarterbacks got to move out, but silent about Trevor Lawrence, who's parked until 2029 or 2020. That's a disgrace. They made sure his spot was safe, and they didn't care whether it hurt the team or not. So Travis wasn't brought there for them to win. Not a coincidence that they gave Travis Shedeur's money and they gave Shedeur Travis' jersey number. It was to hurt Shedeur. They think Quinshon Junkins running the ball gonna hurt Shedeur. You saw the thumbnail. You knew these two was tight before, they still tight now. Shout out to Myles Garrett. And I'm sure they're gonna try to figure out some way to retaliate against him. Let's see if the Browns fans stand up for him. All right, so I think this is Yeah, this is Bucky right here. All right, so this is Bucky's video that he had earlier with Shedeur. This was the part that I liked. Let me share it. That I liked, right? They were going to breakfast. So that's the part that I like. So hopefully I can get this out. Hopefully. Hey, and this is exactly what I thought. So I know how to get around this. I ain't worried about it. So they went to breakfast, right? And he was showing what Shedeur had to eat for breakfast. And Shedeur was basically saying how Bucky should come film, with Cleveland. And I heard he want his brother to stay up there with him. I think it would be good. And one of the things I learned that Florida is Shedeur's driver. So remember, after Shedeur got the ticket, we had heard he had gotten a driver. I didn't know it was Florida till Florida picked up Bucky from the airport. All right, so I got my video clip back. So hold on 1 second. So I learned a lot from just the 2 video clips, just from the short time that Bucky has been up there. And I do think, I don't know if they would let him film all the time. But for Shedeur, you could see how happy Shedeur was to see the smile on his face when Bucky walked on the field the first day and then was at the game. So that's good for him, right? That's good for him. All right, let me hit play. Okay. Listen to this though. Hold on 1 second. So they're going into this restaurant, and Shedeur, they sit down and they cut to the part about Shedeur asking Bucky about filming up there. $8:51 a.m. Oh, 1 o'clock game.
No. You already got some good stuff going on with y'all media team, man.
No, I knew. That's what I said. Be a part. I didn't say just take it over. I said be a part. Do you have any turkey bacon?
That's what Shedeur eats on game days, ladies and gentlemen.
I really don't be liking to touch them because I know, like any restaurants and stuff, I know they don't be sanitizing like the thing that be standing on the table.
And I think Shedeur is a germaphobe too.
He's a plastic silverware type of guy.
I am.
See, real men just eat what they give them.
Bro, you grew up with a gold spoon, bro.
Nah.
So this them get ready, and they did all this little entrance and everything. Like I said, they put on a show. That's really what they do. They just put on a show. And then they had, and I don't know like how much of his content would be copyright or anything. I don't think so, but they did let him on the field. I don't know if he's gonna get to come back. He did a good job. This is when they were going off the field. They were in the back, and it was good for Shedeur for him to be there, right? Because Shedeur was like really, really, really excited. So I don't know how this works, like, and that's it. I just wanted y'all to see the part about them being at the restaurant and Shedeur asking him about, being a part of they social media team and filming and stuff like that. I don't think he's feeling that like that. But it was good for him to be up there. Just the 2 short videos alone, just Shedeur seeing him, Bucky, when he arrived to the practice facility, I guess was that yesterday, and the smile on Shedeur's face, and when I heard Shedeur ask him about becoming part of the, team like media or whatever, I was like, I think he wants his brother to be up there. So Florida's his driver. Shedeur came out. When we gonna see Coach Prime? I guess maybe they talked about it. I'm surprised Coach Prime wasn't there. Maybe because it's raining, or maybe not yet. Maybe Shedeur wants his dad to come when he knows that he's going to play. And I would imagine, now I don't know if Shedeur knows when he's going to play, because if he's a QB2, maybe QB2s don't always know when they're going to get into the game. 350 people. Shout out, guys. Thank y'all so much. So shout out to Bucky, right? The Big Brother, the song that they made, that they had in the end of the video the first day, Shedeur was saying he don't know why he don't wear his diamonds no more, you know, whatever. But did y'all notice he had his chain on? The chain that I like, the one that's like his crown, right? So he got back to that, wearing his jewelry or whatever. And I think his music is some parts reality where he expressing himself, but still making music. Because remember, he said he wasn't gonna make no more music. So he decided, I'm gonna go ahead and keep making music. I'm gonna go ahead and be me. So that tells me Shedeur is at a place where he realizes I might as well just be myself. There's no point in not being myself. This ain't about me. It's not. That's why he can be himself, because it's not about him. So he realizes that, right? And it is important for family to go visit him. So I hope more and more of them, they just keep going up there for the last remaining games. Having your mom is one thing. I know, because I'm a mom and I can tell my kids, you know, they beautiful every day, and they just like, we want that from other people. Thank you, Mom. They love the compliments, but at the same time, you know, hearing it from their peers and hearing it, you know, being successful at work rather than me saying you be whatever you want to be, it is, you know, yes, you have a certain type of motherly support, and Miss Pilar is that and more. But I know having his teammates, Shadeur's teammates, Miles Garrett leading the way, speaking out for him. Denzel Ward posted a photo 2 days before this game with Shedeur in the background saying they want Shedeur to be the guy. That kind of support, whether you get it or not, it makes a difference. Because every day Shedeur is being told he doesn't belong, not in Cleveland, as a quarterback. And he's not the first black quarterback to hear things like, we have a standard for the most important position on a team. It's happening again. And it's happening to probably 14 or 15 of the 16 black starting quarterbacks. And the rest of them, that's why I said they need to be in the group chat. I said it before, they all gonna have to have Russell Wilson's mentality. You can't break me. Shedeur has made it to a point where he's unbreakable. He has support from his peers on the team. He has family coming up to see him, which is huge, because people bully who they think are vulnerable. He's not vulnerable anymore. If they cut him tomorrow, I think he'll be okay. I have no doubt that Shedeur Sanders will be successful without the NFL. And he probably has already resigned himself to understand that that might happen. And fans going to need to resign themselves with that's a huge possibility as well. If you don't believe me, keep paying attention to what they do to the quarterback position. It said, what was up with that? The man pulling Shadeur's hand. Yeah, they were pulling his arm like they were like feeling like they had to drag him in. Miles said they needed to run the ball more. Yeah, they did, because I don't understand for the life of me how you go to London and let Quishan run for 110 yards to make the game exciting to people in London, but you come back to the States last week and allow Dylan to throw the ball 52 times but only give Quishan Junkins 12 carries. But then I knew it was going to happen. I'm like, they're going to have to get a ball to Quishan Junkins. What made you go away from that and put Dylan in such a horrible circumstance? Do you not want Dylan's trade value to be up here? You want it to be down here? Or you just not a good coach? Or you don't give a damn about Dylan? Or all of the above, right? Every game that Dylan plays affects his trade value. Because Arch Manning either hasn't made a decision to come out this year or next year, they might not move off of Dylan. So let's just put him out here now. Let's let Quishan run it up. And they didn't want that. Because to do it in London, but to not do it over here until your fans clamor on top of your head with pressure, tells me you didn't want Quishan to be the hero. Even though you knew that that was going to be the plan. They got they preferences. That's all it is. It said, did anybody see Shedeur trying to talk to Dylan and Dylan snubbed him? I didn't think he snubbed him, but I think I did see Shedeur go to to talk to him. Yeah. But I didn't think he snubbed him, but I did see something. Shedeur is shatterproof. He has an indestructible mindset and able to withstand Stefanski's conduct. Yeah, now, not in the beginning. In the beginning, he did. But here's the thing, right? He thought because they pre-draft with him that there wouldn't be a problem with him going to Cleveland. That's what he thought. He learned that Cleveland was in on it. I'm pretty sure he knows Like Shady McCoy said, LaShawn McCoy said, Shedeur Sanders' first round projected QB fall to the 5th round. You don't think the NFL had nothing to do with that? Yeah. You don't think the NFL have nothing to do with Dylan just being out there and not good as long as it keeps Shedeur off the field? Yeah. Every other backup can get in the game and play. Primarily to keep the game going forward, to try to win, to keep the QB from looking bad, the starter. But Shedeur Sanders, which means they don't care what Dylan look like. That's also that. I just think people don't like Dylan because I think they have realized he's just not a nice person. He's not. He's not a genuinely nice person. He knows in his head Shedeur is better than him, but he feels like the teacher's pet. If you've ever been in a class with a teacher's pet, most people don't like the teacher's pet because they're not nice people. They don't want to be friendly. They just want to have some kind of power like the teacher. That's Dylan. It said, so how you live doing the Falcons now? Because I turned that off after I saw number 71. When I saw number 71, the right tackle blow his coverage. I've seen it happen to Jalen Hurts. I've seen it happen to what's his name? The quarterback for the Falcons. I saw it happen before. It's happening again. I said, okay, they don't want them to win this game. They don't. I also saw Keenan before the game. I said, okay, I see. See, and the fact that they're using Keenan. See, the NFL likes to pretend that the black fan base don't matter, but they keep curating content for the black fan base. Jeezy, Keenan, Kendrick, and just in case you don't know, Puerto Ricans, they might not be African American, but they're African Puerto Rican American. They just got off at the train stop before we did. That's it. Bad Bunny. They doing all of that while still trying to dismiss black quarterback, trying to hold Travis back so Trevor can get the shine. Are they worried about Pat Mahomes this year? Seems like they're going to let Josh Allen come out number 2. It's that yep starter arm pull as well. Yeah, the guy pulling Shedeur's arm going into the locker room. Yeah, that was crazy. And I don't know why they felt the need to grab his arm and say, come in, usher here. But I'm pretty sure the excuse going to be, oh, we was just trying to get him in the locker room. Like I said, the young lady that called herself coming out there, and whether she didn't even know who she said that in front of, they don't take good care with how they treat Shedeur. So what I'm saying is they don't respect him. They don't respect him as a man because who pulls a grown man that way, right? They don't respect him as an employee because who runs around and says out loud in front of other people that, hey, I have to come follow you so you don't get in trouble. I'm glad to know Florida is his driver. Because why? If you have people following me off the clock, off the clock, because the game over with. What the hell you looking for me for? If you have people following me off the clock after a game, and you have a man dragging me to try to push me in the direction I should go, like I don't have the right to talk to another person. One, you don't respect me, and 2, how do I know on my off day you don't have somebody follow me around because you don't want me to get in trouble? The game was over, right? So why would somebody have to come look for Shedeur if he is street clothes? You see how problematic that is? They don't respect him. And the reasons they don't respect him is the reasons he's not worthy to be a quarterback. And it's nothing he did. It's because he's black and he's a quarterback. And they don't respect black quarterbacks. Recap. Jay Novell fired. Yep. Told Dion not to wear shades and cap. Florida Gators coach fired. Yep. Sure are. So I knew Norvell was gonna get fired. I don't even know what his record was. What did they lose a lot, or did it matter? Did it matter? Because they seem to be cleaning house on people that they want to get rid of. That's what I see. We just want to get rid of you, right? So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Hey, how you doing, Crowley? How you doing? How you doing? It said Juju may need another year. Sell us to see you. I don't think so. I think Juju's good. Did you see the scrimmage where the ball was missnapped? Something that used to happen to Shedeur. The ball was missnapped, and he still managed to get the ball, run over to the side, and connect a complete pass with whoever the receiver was. I don't think so. I just think that, I don't know who the QB coach is. It could be Coach Prime. I did see Coach Prime like coaching up Juju. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. January is not that far off. It said, I caught that guy ushering in Shedeur. I was wondering what that was about after the girl did the same type of thing. You would think he was getting threats or something. No, they the threat. They the damn threat. That's it. They're the threat. I mean, honestly, they're the threat. That's who the threat is. The people he worked with. See, the problem is the culture is at the top, and people have made it well known that it's okay to disrespect Shedeur. Why? Because Stefanski did it. Has Haslam stopped it? No. Why? Because he disrespected Shedeur. He wasn't my pick. We all know Andrew Berry does not have the power to veto 32 NFL owners who passed and took Shedeur off the board because he was entitled. Andrew Berry. I mean, Jay Norvell. Yeah, no. So they're treating Shedeur like, we don't want you. We had to take you, and they did, right? But what happens now? Is it what Odell Beckham Jr. said? This is where careers go to die. That's what it could be. That's just what it could be. I mean, we just have to be honest about that. At some point, I said this. Well, maybe them letting Bucky film mean maybe they tired of colluding against him, because there is no way out. If you dismiss Shedeur, there still is no way out of a collusion charge because you discriminated against Shedeur. There is no way out because you're doing it to other black quarterbacks. There is no way out. So trying to break Shedeur down mentally by not talking to him, by having people follow him around, it's just going to make somebody else sue you eventually. And this is what I mean by arrogance has to fall hard, because they feel like, who gonna check me, boo? And I will remind you, the way that things are today, they not tomorrow. Because if you watched any kind of social media this weekend, you see what's going on around the country. Change, that kind of change comes without warning. So this is arrogance. This is arrogance that we can treat him this way. This is arrogance that we can disrespect him. It proves that Cleveland's culture, workplace culture, is toxic. It proves that Shedeur works in a toxic environment, which is against the law. But ain't nobody worried about that right now. But the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. It said the Panthers has to use Jimmy more in their offense. I think they got him blocking rather than throwing. See, it comes back to the hierarchy of where you were drafted, right? They realize they need him in the game. And they still want to give Ted, most of the targets, Xavier Legette, most of the targets. They don't want to put Jimmy, because they drafted him late. They knew they should have drafted him early, but they was clued against him too, right? So what are they going to do, right? Just play it out. Just let it play out. I mean, look at what they're doing to Travis, and he was drafted number 2. Same thing. It's a different reason. Like Johnny Manziel and the other guy that was for Cleveland, both frustrated with the team for different reasons. These players try to cope. They just talked about how a young NFL player lost his life. I don't think he played no more. Mental health issues. They said they thought it was CTE. That's why I'm happy Justin Fields, as long as he believes everything he's saying, he's going to be okay. Because did you hear him say he's at a low spot right now? You see, they need to be able to cope with a toxic environment that's intentionally trying to hold you back. That ain't easy to do. That's not easy to do. You can retire. There are players who have Calvin Johnson, I think. I don't know why he retired. I think that was his name. You can retire. But imagine you coming up all the way from Little League and you want to play this sport only to get here and find out what? That it ain't what people said it was. That is toxic and it's designed to have you to be effective for 3 years and forget who the hell you are in year 4 after they kick you out. 23, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there. That's it. And as a rookie, they don't even want to play you if you're a quarterback. So that means until you what? 25, 26? It's a lot to deal with. And it's the money is supposed to make the discrimination easier to deal with. It's not, because it affects you up here. So you have to have the mentality of Russell Wilson. You have to have the mentality of Justin Fields. I applaud Justin Fields in the comments. People was like, why is he talking like this? I'm like, because he don't want to lose his damn mind. That's why. And that's what they want. They want Shedeur to be in shambles. Why you think they was ignoring him? So he could be in shambles. So he could get frustrated. So he could quit. So he could be like Jonathan Martin when it was Richie Incognito and the head coach allowed it. Brian Flores is right. For what I've seen this year, the NFL is rife with racism. Not only do they owe him an apology about Tua, they owe him an apology for firing a black head coach who had a winning record after he was being incentivized to lose. That's crazy. Now they want to fire Mike Tomlin. Again, he has a winning record. But people sad that Callahan is gone, and then other people want Gruden to come back. You know, I'm of the mindset, just let them have this and go start your own, please. Just for your own sake. Just go start your own shit, because you're going to need it anyway, right? If flag football don't move you out the way, and I just found out the Jags flag football team is better than the actual Jags football team. I didn't even know they had a flag football team. They do, and they better than the Jags. So how long before that replaces this? Because we already at the point where the quarterback position, the most important position on the team, is being dumbed down. All they have to do is have bodies on the field. Talent no longer matters. What else is it going to be before that the flag football takes place? They went overseas trying to impress, but not over here. You know how long it's going to take people in London to learn American football and what it really is? About 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Because they're probably not watching it religiously. We already know the truth. And they're not even trying to impress. They're trying to impress those that don't know the truth. Get your own. Tyrod Taylor was balling today. Not a surprise. Glad to hear it. Not a surprise. Tyrod Taylor also has a lawsuit against the NFL. Just like Brian Flores. Different reasons, but really the same event, but different reasons. So shout out to Tyrod Taylor. Jimmy Horn Jr. is for the people. Yep. I'm happy to see him get the love. I know he probably wish he could play more. I'm happy to see them allow him to block more, but it is what it is. And now that they know it is what it is, I hope the rest of the players coming out of Colorado, like Jordan Seaton, that the people around him are being realistic about what it is, right? How many people in his position get truly celebrated? These young people think, let me just get to the money. You got to deal with the toxicity too. Are they going to ask you to allow your quarterback that look like you to get injured? Because I don't know how they keep getting it to happen with the right tackle in Atlanta. Again, I hope these people are being realistic with these kids. Instead, how is Bo Nix going to get the Broncos to score 33 points in the fourth quarter to win? Is that what's happened? Is that what happened? When I saw the Giants versus what was that? The Broncos game. All I know is I saw 0 and I was like, oh, the Broncos losing? What? Just like that. And I looked at Cam. I I looked at Cam Scatterboo stats and he didn't have that many carries. The next thing you know, I looked up because I didn't watch the game. I was like, wait a minute. Did the Broncos win the game? You know what? She is absolutely right. The New York Giants scored through each quarter. What? Oh my God. So the Denver Broncos did not score in the first, did not score in the second, did not score in the third. They scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. What the hell? Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Cam Scatterboo had 16 carries, but just for 60 yards. That's it. I don't even know what the hell is happening there because it's like they just woke up all of a sudden. 33 points in the fourth quarter. I have no idea. I don't know what the plan was there. That's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. That's just crazy. All 33 points for Denver came in the fourth quarter. Yes, they did. That's insane. That's insane. Let's take a look at this. That's insane. That's insane. That's all I can say because that's nuts. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Yeah, NFL scores. All right, let's see. Again, Cam Scatterboo balled out in a last game. And this time it looked like they kind of, Cam Scatterboo, they didn't let him do too much. I'm not surprised though, right? I'm not surprised. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I think fans really expected to see some really good football this year, but that's not the plan. Okay, so here we go. I always like to look at the top because I get to see who scored first and what. So the Giants fall to 2-5, and the Broncos are 5-2. And as you can see, the Giants scored in the first quarter. The Broncos did not. The Giants scored 6 more points in the second. Must have mixed the extra point, I'm assuming. And Denver did not. Denver was scoreless until the fourth quarter. How does that happen? Team leader, let's see. Jackson Dart threw the ball 33 times, 283 yards. That's pretty good. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bo Nix had 2 touchdowns, 271 for 50. They both threw the ball. Bo Nix threw the ball 50 times. Cam Scatterboo, 16 carries. J.K. Dobbins, 14 carries. Juan Dale, 6 receptions for 95 yards. And Cortland Sutton, 6 receptions for 87 yards. So, let's see what's happening here. Jackson Dart had 1 interception. Was that the catalyst? Cam Scatterboo had no touchdowns, but the other running back, Tyrone Tracy, did. 9 carries, resulted in a touchdown, so that's 1. Jackson Dart ran 1 in, that's 2. Let's go over to the Broncos. Let's see here. Who was scoring? The quarterback got 279 yards. So look at the number of yards that Bo Nix puts up in the NFL. This is why somebody posted on X, Dylan is not an NFL quarterback. If you can't get to 279 yards or 200 yards, that's just ridiculous, right? 50, he threw the ball 50 times. He scored twice, no interceptions. That's what you're supposed to be able to do. And I think people see it clearly that Cleveland is putting Dylan in a warm blanket. So, he don't make no mistakes. They coddling him. That's the term. They're coddling him. So who scored? Bo Nix scored twice for rushing. And who else? Troy Franklin. I wonder if that was from the interception from Jackson Dart. Then RJ Harvey. Remember RJ Harvey from USF? Or was it UCF? UCF. So he got him 1. Shout out to Harvey. He got him 1. And the defense. Let's see. Anybody on defense? Okay, Justin Sternad, he scored. Okay. And let's see what else. 5 points from the kickers. Okay, there you go. And they punted the ball 6 times. Yeah, I have no idea what the catalyst was all of a sudden for them to win. I have no idea. But that's crazy. And they lost by 1 point. And these people scored 33 points on them. So the defense is a problem. I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't know. Did I show that or not? I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if y'all saw it. I was talking, but I don't know if y'all saw it. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'd have to actually go look at that game to see if the interception that Jackson Dart threw was the catalyst to all of this scoring by the Broncos. In other words, did the momentum swing? How do you feel as a Giants fan right now? I know we have some Giants fans in here. How do y'all feel thinking y'all won this game in the fourth quarter and these people come back and beat y'all by 1 point after scoring 33 points? I need some Giants fans, Kiel, some of y'all in here. Let me know how y'all feeling right now, because you should feel let down. Because that's crazy, right? And it just goes to prove the more these quarterbacks throw, if they're not good, they gonna throw interceptions. It's just what's gonna happen. You see, Bo Nix is actually a pretty good quarterback. It said 100 people need to hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It said it went 2 and 5. Trevor was total trash. Yeah, it is so sad. It's so sad to me that Trevor Lawrence, nobody comes for him. But the disgusting way that they come for Shedeur, or they come for Cam, or they come for Justin Fields, or how they used to come for Caleb Williams, or how they talked about Dak, they don't have none of that smoke, none of that energy, right? Whether it's Josh Allen last year or Trevor Lawrence, he's the one that continues to sneak out the back door and nobody says nothing. And the reason I think that is because his contract has him parked there until 2029 or 2030. That's shameful. Why would you have him pigeonholed there for that long? He wasn't good before he got that contract. So what was the point? To hinder the Jaguars' ownership? They're not white. Racism at all levels. I can discriminate with you. I can collude with you. Or I can collude against you. If you on the phone, double tap the likes. Thank you. It said, aren't they firing Florida State coach? Florida State coach? Florida. I know that the Gators coach got fired. I don't know about Florida State coach, but the message to Lenore Sellers is get the hell out of South Carolina. I'm like, did I call it or did I call it? Now, see, this is the lesson. We talked about this. How many times, and who heard me say Lenore Sellers' daddy should have took that damn money? Remember, supposedly Lenore Sellers was offered $8 million. Same thing happened to Quinn Ewers. Pay attention. Lenore Sellers' father said Lenore Sellers was offered $8 million to leave South Carolina and go play at another school. I don't know what conference, but I'm thinking another conference for 2 years. So that's $4 million for 1 year, $4 million for another year. Darian Mensah did this. He left Tulane and went to Duke for $8 million. Cool, right? Right? So now, when the season started, he got concussed badly. And I was like, because he was the number one quarterback coming out. And now that's not the case. He had to miss some games. Now they saying today, I don't know what happened yesterday, but they saying he need to get the hell out of South Carolina and possibly the SEC. And he didn't get the $8 million. And what does that mean? He probably going to end up like Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers got offered $6 million to leave UT, do not declare for the draft, come play for us for 1 year. And he turned it down to come to the NFL, and they drafted him dead last quarterback. If there were 13 quarterbacks drafted, he was number 13. That's crazy. So you saw him get in the game before Shedeur in Cleveland in Shedeur's face. People say that's a middle finger to Shedeur. Like the NFL just hates him. Shedeur didn't do nothing to these people. But the same people that's saying the NFL hates Shedeur not paying attention to how they really hate Michael Penix Jr., how they really hate Cam Ward. They're not looking at the holistic picture. And now they're seeing it with Travis, which is crazy because he won the Heisman, right? Yep. So that's just sad, right? It's just sad, right? People are saying the NFL is AZZ. Yep, I would agree. I had to turn off the Falcons. I was gonna wear my jersey, but I can't even do it. I've been watching people boat and yacht and sail and jet ski because I even found out about this black guy that was the legend in motocross. I can't look at that, right? I say I want to look at it when Shedeur play, but I don't know when that's going to be. But I'm probably going to watch it, right? To be honest, what I see happening is mediocrity is being pushed on the fans. And the civil war that people thought was going to happen outside the league is actually happening in the NFL, right? You have black people calling out what's happening to Shedeur, black people realizing you trashing Justin Fields, black people realizing you trashed Jalen Hurts. He won a damn Super Bowl. And then you got white people who are realizing that black people are standing up for the black quarterbacks. So then they get together and they want to spam social media, some of them, and say, I like watching Dylan play. Or they say things like, I don't really care for Shedeur, but how you don't care for somebody you don't know? Because this is about black quarterbacks. And I said the NFL is in a tug of war. And the NFL gravitates toward black people like I Show Speed or Keena Thompson or Kai Sanat, but not its own players. So they won't be the face of their teams. So they won't get all this brand advertising. That's only for Peyton Manning, who's long gone, and Josh Allen. And next year, it's going to be Mac Jones. And it's going to be Christian McCaffrey. Or it's going to, I don't know, Trevor Lawrence. He's just going to be over there, just weighing down the Jacksonville Jaguars, who went and got Travis and not really doing nothing with it. For Travis to get open 8 times, only score once. And there was a flag on the play when I think he scored, but I don't think it was against him. Miami penalties also helped the Cleveland Browns win. It feel like the Browns actually lost. It don't feel like a victory. But what's happening with the Browns is what they want NFL to be. And at the same time, I see them trying to dumb down the quarterback position after hearing them say the quarterback is the most important position. While Dylan runs Arch Manning's stat line, I know what they get ready to do. Use Dylan to save Arch Manning's seat and devalue everybody like Shedeur. That's black, elite, and talented, whether it's dual threat like Lenore Sellis or it's pocket passer with mobility like Shedeur and Dante Moore. I don't know if I'm going to be around for that part. It's ugly. And they have a who gonna check me boo attitude about it, which means they're being blatant with it. You only don't know about it if you don't watch the teams and the quarterback and pay attention to what's going on. So, like Vegas, the NFL is pushing a mediocre product and charging big dollars for it. So let's see if the NFL end up like Vegas. Let's see. It said Jay Norvell trying to upstage Coach Prime didn't help him keep his job. Right. And that's why I said Andrew Berry got fired from Colorado State. Because, see, these guys think because my wife is white that they accept me. No, they don't. They using you. They using you and they going to discard you. And I posted on X about Jay Norvell. I said, Andrew Berry next. They want to fire Andrew Berry like he out there calling the plays. They want to fire Mike Tomlin like he had a losing season. They have all the smoke for these black quarterbacks, but they don't have no smoke for Dylan, no smoke for Trevor. And Dylan better understand, you just warming the seat for Arch Manning. Because they're not helping your trade value at all. Everybody know what that is. A favor to a friend. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just sad, right? The NFL is just going out sad. That's all it is. It said the McDonald press conference was a complete train wreck. Right. I have no idea what the hell is going on in Miami. CJ said Miami will have an interim coach. They're going to need one. They're going to need one. They're going to need one. He looks defeated with no confidence, the coach of Miami. Right. And I thought about it. I said, okay, what's really going on here? Because we saw how happy Tyreek Hill, was that his name? Was after he unfortunately dislocated his knee. People was like, he happy that he don't have to be a part of this no more. So we said that Cleveland was toxic. Now it seems Miami is toxic, right? That's what it's given. Between Tua's press conference in the head coach press conference, faith without works is dead, but fasting is work. Yep. So I don't know. It said the NFL is slow feeding all of the Colorado boys because they do not want the world to know that Deion has these boys NFL ready. I agree with that. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I felt like people said, okay, so everybody but Travis got devalued. And I said, wait a minute. Travis had to go fishing to get his contract on a Sunday. He ended up getting that contract after he went fishing with Coach Prime, because what does it tell you? They know Coach Prime can put a team together. I'm just ready for Coach Prime and the Sanders players to put their own league together. If y'all have, how we talk about, get back and stuff like that. I don't look at it as get back. I look at it as a necessity. I do. I look at it as a necessity. I'm willing to believe it's something they've talked about. I'm willing to believe it's something they've also talked about. It is something that only they can do, and not it take forever. That's what I mean. They just have that instant effect. The Sanders effect. They have it. And they got all the right people in play. You got Mama T on logistics. You got Bucky on media. You got Darius streaming also. Look at how many people would stream for them. And all they got to do is just play one game and watch what happens. Write down on a piece of paper the outcome you expected from Cleveland. I don't have none. And I've said the players shouldn't have it either. The ones coming out next year, I don't care where you go to school. If you Black, you don't have no expectations. You want to get paid, you want to get your money, you want to get the hell on. There's a story circulating about a Black NFL player that made $25 million and retired to go start a farm. It's a means to an end. They don't look at it like that. They look at it like it's their everything, and it cannot be your everything. It's not even designed to be your everything. You have made toxic culture your everything. That will only assure that you end up in ruins. They have to start looking at the opportunity in the NFL differently. If God opened the door for me to be here, but things are still not going right, they're not trying to be fair, they're still discriminating, what is my purpose? That's a question for Shedeur. Justin Fields already working on the answer. Michael Penix Jr., it hurt me to see what happened to him because he don't get it yet. Russell Wilson gets it, though. Russell Wilson knew when they signed him for 1 year, this could be his last year. Russell Wilson knew when they pushed him out of Pittsburgh, he knew why. He knew also why he was pushed out of Denver. He knew exactly why Sean Payton vulgarly disparaged him in front of everybody to humiliate him. He knows this. And he's still in the league because why? God opened the door. He gonna wait for God to close it. But his mindset, they can't break me. I bet his expectations are different. I bet his expectations are not, I want to go in here and win the Super Bowl. I think Lamar Jackson now gets it. Yep. Matter of fact, I heard him say something after when they started losing. I think after Derrick Henry had the ball stripped and all this, that, and the other, the way he was answering the question and what he was saying, I said, I think he gets it. They all need to be in a group chat so they all can get it. So they all can move and understand that if God opened the door for this opportunity, the purpose might not be to win for people who are trying to hold you back. Because if they don't let you win, they brought you here to keep you from running off and starting your own league. And that's what you need to do. Corner the market. Think Toys R Us. Bought out and destroyed. I'm just placeholding this black talent so it don't run off and make another league great or make their own league great. And you know what the first response is when I say that? They don't need their own league. 70% of the players are Black and 90% of the leadership is white. And they are actively and openly discriminating and setting up these Black quarterbacks. So they absolutely need to start their own league ASAP. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. It said the handwriting is on the wall for Brown's passing game without Shedeur. Having Dylan dinking and dunking is wearing on the wide receivers. Yep. And they trashed the wide. They done threw the wide receivers under the bus in Cleveland. Shedeur not good. The wide receivers not good. And let's see what they try to do to Myles Garrett. She can't protect themselves, so they stay close to their shepherd. Yep. It said Cleveland media see that Dylan isn't the great QB they hoped he would be, so they're now pushing for scrapping of the team at bye week. They don't want Shedeur to have access to weapons. Right. What you scrapping the team for? What you scrapping the team for? You have a game manager that cannot score, that you scared to let actually throw the ball down the field. They would never let him make that pass that Cam made today. And that proves my point. They're not calling for Dylan to be dismissed, but they're calling for Cam to be dismissed. And he over there balling out. That's why they fired the head coach, because he's not the problem. But there are people that don't want to see Cam with the same power and influence they don't want to see Shedeur with. What did Michael Penix Jr. say when he first came out this season? He was throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts. He said a lot of that's going to happen. I was like, no, it ain't. And it's not. He thought he had control of that, because technically he does. Right? They don't want that. And these players got to get that through their heads. Understand? You got to understand the environment you in to understand the war that's being thrust upon you. It's like some of them don't even know what's really happening, and it's happening to all of them. And they must not talk, but they need to be in a group chat. They need to be in a group chat. In fairness to the Jets coaches today, Justin Fields laid out in today's game. He came back, but I wasn't sure if he was 100%. Oh, he got laid out? Yeah, not a surprise. Not a surprise. That's what he said when he talked about what he's gone through in his career. How many times has Justin Fields been sacked? What happened in Chicago? Do they talk about it? No. They don't even talk about how only the black quarterbacks get sacked excessively and what it's intended to do. These wide receivers are running routes all day knowing the ball is never coming to them. Yeah. And here's the thing. What did they say after the last game? The wide receivers are trash. So they willing to say the wide receivers trash. Shedeur not good. It's his own fault. And everything else. And there's no infighting. The morale on that team is trash, right? And there's enough things out there on camera that people can see, like the man coming to get Shedeur by the arm. What are you pulling him by the arm for? That's not how you treat another grown man. The girl, Shedeur was off the clock. What are you looking for me for if I'm off the clock? What are you rounding me up for if I'm in street clothes? The game is over. I'm talking to my family. I can't talk to my family. You see? Just like when Shedeur was having a conversation with Jalen Hurts. They asked Shedeur what it's about. They asked Jalen. Why? Why are you asking Jalen what their conversation was about? What they scared Shedeur going to tell somebody something? What they think Shedeur going to tell us what we can see for ourselves? That's how they think. Oh, we can't let him talk to nobody. That's why they freaked out when Deshaun Watson said, I'm taking Shedeur under my wing. They make it seem like we can't see what's happening with Shedeur, that we need them to confirm it, which is why Kevin Stefanski was always talking in riddles. And then other people come along and be transparent. They don't like that. Stay tuned. Let's see how things go with Myles Garrett. Man, she might get a new team. Never know. It could happen. They think they keeping the lid on the discrimination against Shedeur when we all see it. Do you know how arrogant it is to think that you're the only person that knows something that everybody else can see? That millions of people that you lure to the draft can see? Do you know how arrogant that is? Stay tuned. All right, we getting ready to wrap this up. Yes, Trevor Lawrence is meh. Yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence not good. It said the commentary team dissects Travis Hunter more than they do Trevor Lawrence. Right, and I feel like they do that because they're like, he gonna be here till eternity. So let's just talk to Travis. They said Travis was gonna be the bright spot in the Giants season, but they're not using him a lot. It seemed like at first they were really excited about Travis. You know, he was all over their social media. And see, they do that. They use all of these Colorado players to get all their social media active. LeJontay too. Everybody, right? But when it comes to playing time, oh, you a 6th round pick. Oh, you a 6th round pick. Oh, you a 5th round pick. And Travis is a 2nd round pick. So explain it. Because he wouldn't get baptized? Because he's not the quarterback? What is it? It's like the NFL should have parking signs for quarterbacks that say reserved for white quarterbacks only. That's what it is. Explain how Travis Hunter's being underutilized. Because Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the star of the team. But in Cleveland, Quinshon Judkins is the star of the team because they absolutely need him. Last week, he could have did what he did this week. And nobody would have had to tell him to do it. That's not the choice that they made. Because they weren't trying to impress. We over with London. They didn't want Quinshon Judkins to be the star. They have no choice. Let's see how much they talk about Quinshon Judkins going forward. They should be over there kissing his feet. Let's see if he becomes the face of the team. The Browns team with Shedeur at QB can actually be a Super Bowl team this year. Right. And they don't want it. And that's what I meant by it's more important to hold Shedeur back at QB1, away from QB1, is more in position to be racist, to discriminate against Shedeur, to make sure he doesn't get an opportunity to lead the team than it is to make money. So when people say, oh, they paid Deshaun Watson $230 million. So they also never really gave him a real opportunity. He just keep getting hurt. And now the insurance is picking up the tab. I wonder how many times the insurance picked up the tab for Deshaun Watson. So that's it for us tonight, guys. We went over 2 hours because we knew this was going to be a good conversation. Shout out to Jimmy, fan favorite, blocking and being a wide receiver. Travis, you could tell he frustrated, but he gonna get there. Travis want to win. Travis has not realized possibly just yet they don't want to win with Travis as the star. They want to win with Trevor as the star. And that's frustrating for somebody who was so wildly embraced. He might be thinking it's about it, the fact that he got baptized. And maybe he could be. I don't know. But to say that he's a 2nd pick overall, and it was so important to get this, but to underutilize him points to the fact that he was drafted in place of Shedeur, that Shedeur has Travis's jersey number, and Travis has Shedeur's money. Also designed to hurt Shedeur and his relationships. So shout out to Shedeur for not letting these people break you down. Shout out to being unbreakable. Because if you're going to be in this league, meaning you're going to be there till they kick you out, you're not going to retire, you're going to have to be unbreakable and have no expectations. And like Justin Fields, just go out there and do your best and don't expect nothing in return because you ain't going to get it. All right, that's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about Colorado at some point because, that's probably better. That's probably better. I believe Colorado gonna beat Utah, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, so that's it, guys. As fans, we just gotta find, and that's what I did with the thumbnail. I found the positive to talk about, right? Shedeur's unbreakable because there ain't nothing else to talk about, right? That's really gonna be what matters going forward is that he stay up, right? Travis, it says a lot that he wants to win rather than talk about the novelty of his first touchdown, right? Shout out to Travis. And Jimmy Horn Jr. being a favorite of the fans. It just proves, right? He's a good player. He should have more opportunities, but, they holding him back too. So it is what it is, but he making the best of it. And he's getting love from the community and from the fan base. So that's all good positives for our Colorado Buffs that are now in the NFL. That's all we can talk about going forward. All right, y'all. So we'll be back tomorrow, 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll be sure to catch up to y'all tomorrow. And don't forget, if you go shopping at whatshesaidsports.com, use my code NOLAGIRL at checkout. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank
Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.